Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. We're back once again for Power Pack 18. This one continues the formula established in the previous tape with 3 full games and 1 playable demo. You know, considering that it only cost £2.20 for an issue of Commodore format back in the day, that really is an amazing deal considering that you get a ton of games to play every month and an amazing magazine to read as well. Those were the days. Anyway, let's get on with taking a look at this tape's goodies, shall we? First up this time is a full game by the name of Sphinx Jinx, which actually turns out to be a previously unreleased sequel to Total Eclipse. The full 3D environments continue to impress despite how slowly the game runs in general. In this game, the Sphinx has been divided up into 12 parts and scattered inside the Great Pyramid. If you don't find all of the parts and reunite the Sphinx within about an hour of gameplay, then there will be a total eclipse and the world will end. The game never explains why this is happening, just that it is. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably a bunch of aliens being dicks. It usually is. You have a hydration meter to keep an eye on, and the condition of your heart is also displayed. If you run out of water or overexert yourself too much, then it's curtains for you. At least there is quite a nice tune to listen to as you explore. Realistically though, I can only recommend Sphinx Jinx to those with extreme patience these days, because the game does plod along at an incredibly slow pace. Still, these primitive 3D games were well ahead of their time on the C64. Next up is the playable demo in the form of another multi-screen platformer by the name of Demon Blues. You take control of the titular cutesy blue thing and traverse your way through the baddie-filled levels. In a refreshing change, the fire button on the joystick is jump instead of pushing upwards, which can often feel clunky. Jumping in Demon Blues does feel more precise than in other games, which is very nice. The game is still very challenging though, because your only weapon is a star that orbits your character. You have to carefully time your movements so that the star hits the enemies instead of you. Much like Cyberdyne Warrior on the last tape, there are multiple routes to take throughout the level, although in this game they always seem to end up in the same place, where there was an eyeball enemy that seemingly couldn't be killed and instead wiped me out every time. There must be something that I'm missing. Anyway, Demon Blues is a very nice looking game that controls well and is certainly worth a second glance. I shall make sure that I check out the full version sometime. Our second full game is Firelord, one that I have heard a lot of praise about over the years, and a game that I have long wanted to play myself. The funny thing is, while I thought that I had bought most of the issues of Commodore format back in the 90s, I don't recall some of these tapes at all, which suggests that I may have actually missed a few months. Getting back to the game in question though, Firelord is a flick-screen adventure game that reminds me a lot of Saberwolf by Ultimate. The way the game controls, the look of it, and the little patty feet noise made by the main character are all very similar. This is a huge sprawling game, and you're not likely to make much progress without a map, to be honest. There is an interesting mechanic where you can try and steal items from the villagers, and if they spot you in the act, you have 3 chances to try and select innocent. Should any of these land on guilty, then you will lose one of your precious lives. Definitely a game that's going to take some time to tame. You can find the complete map online these days, though if you prefer to map it out yourself, you can of course do that as well. Good luck. The final game on Power Pack 18 is called Fast and was actually submitted by a Commodore format reader. The magazine went to great lengths to point out how much fun this game is in 2-player mode, but unfortunately I didn't have anyone on hand whilst making this video to try that out, so I've only tried playing against the computer. I really wanted to like this game. The write-up in the magazine made it sound like a lot of fun. In reality though, it is very frustrating. The game is indeed fast as the name would imply, but what this means is that you will collide with something and explode within seconds, and then you're stuck watching the rest of the level scroll by. This could indeed be fun if you were playing with another person, bumping into each other and trying to cause the other player to explode first, but it doesn't really work as a single player experience, unfortunately. So there you go, another tape down. The highlight for me this time is Firelord. I will definitely be seeking out a good quality map of the game and reading up a bit further about the game mechanics before returning for another go. Join me in a fortnight for another fun packed tape of goodness. In the meantime, take care.